that echoes across arenas. A fighter who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most dangerous strikers the combat sports world has ever seen. His story isn't just about fighting. It's about survival, resilience, and an unwavering drive to prove himself against the odds. From the streets of São Bernardo do Campo to the bright lights of the UFC, Pereira's journey captures the essence of what it means to fight, not just inside the cage, but in life itself. Early life. Pereira was born in São Bernardo do Campo, São Paulo, Brazil in 1987. Growing up wasn't easy. He came from a working-class family and found himself surrounded by hardships that would break most people before they even got a chance to dream. Struggles with poverty, lack of opportunities, and the rough realities of his environment shaped the foundation of who he would later become. As a teenager, he dropped out of school and fell into a cycle of heavy drinking, working construction jobs during the day, and fighting his personal demons at night. It was during this time that he discovered martial arts not through privilege or luxury, but as a way to claw his way out of the difficulties that consumed him. Training became an outlet, a lifeline, and the first step toward transformation. Kickboxing. When Pereira entered the world of kickboxing, it was immediately clear he was different. His size, his reach, and most importantly, his raw power made him a nightmare for opponents. While many fighters take years to find their rhythm, Pereira's natural athleticism and determination fast-tracked him into the spotlight. He became known for his devastating left hook, a weapon so precise and destructive that it would eventually become his signature. Competing in glory kickboxing, Pereira faced some of the best strikers on the planet. Unlike others who relied on speed or flash, Pereira fought with calculated violence. He carried the kind of power that could end fights in an instant, and that reputation quickly spread. The man wasn't just winning, he was knocking people out cold, often in brutal fashion. His rise in kickboxing wasn't smooth, though. He took losses, he stumbled, but each time he came back stronger. Social media presence. Pereira is not the kind of fighter who spends hours on social media chasing clout. Unlike many modern athletes, he uses platforms sparingly, focusing instead on sharing moments that reflect his training, his heritage, and his victories. That's part of what makes him different. He isn't interested in putting on a show outside the cage. He lets his fighting do the talking. When he does post, fans get a glimpse of the man behind the gloves. Training clips, cultural pride, and moments of personal reflection make up most of his online presence. And while he may not chase trends or viral fame, his authenticity has earned him a loyal following who appreciate the raw, unfiltered nature of who he is. Family. Behind the fighter is the man. Pereira is deeply connected to his family, though his rise in combat sports often meant sacrifices. Early in his life, his choices strained relationships, but over time, success and maturity allowed him to rebuild those bonds. Today, family remains a source of strength, grounding him despite the chaos of fame and competition. At the heart of his personal journey is the role of being a father. Pereira has spoken about wanting to set an example, to show that no matter where you come from, you can rise above challenges. His family keeps him focused, reminding him of what truly matters beyond the spotlight and the applause. Social media presence. Pereira is not the kind of fighter who spends hours on social media chasing clout. Unlike many modern athletes, he uses platforms sparingly, focusing instead on sharing moments that reflect his training, his heritage, and his victories. That's part of what makes him different. He isn't interested in putting on a show outside the cage. He lets his fighting do the talking. When he does post, fans get a glimpse of the man behind the gloves. Training clips, cultural pride, and moments of personal reflection make up most of his online presence. And while he may not chase trends or viral fame, his authenticity has earned him a loyal following who appreciate the raw, unfiltered nature of who he is. Kickboxing achievements. In kickboxing, Pereira achieved what few others could. He became a two-division Glory Kickboxing World Champion, conquering both the middleweight and light heavyweight divisions. This feat alone cemented his place among the greatest strikers in combat sports history. His knockout victories became highlights played around the world, turning him into a feared figure inside the ring. But his most famous achievement in kickboxing? Defeating Israel Adesanya not once, but twice. Those wins would later play a massive role in shaping his UFC career, building the narrative that would follow him into MMA. The ability to defeat someone of Adesanya's caliber in their own domain showed just how dangerous Pereira truly was. See, when Pereira transitioned into the UFC, questions swirled. Could a kickboxer of his caliber adjust to the complexities of MMA? Could he handle wrestling, grappling, and the different pace of the octagon? The answers came quickly. Pereira's debut showcased not just his striking, but his ability to adapt. The highlight of his UFC run came when he faced Israel Adesanya again, this time for the middleweight title. It was a clash, years in the making, fueled by history and hype. Pereira delivered in dramatic fashion, knocking out Adesanya and capturing UFC gold. It was one of the greatest moments in MMA history, a storybook ending for a rivalry that spanned two sports. Pereira didn't stop there. He moved to light heavyweight, where once again he showcased his dominance. Few fighters have ever made such a seamless transition between divisions, and fewer still with the level of destruction Pereira brings every time he steps into the octagon. Sponsorships. With success came recognition, and with recognition came sponsorships. Pereira's unique image, a mix of indigenous warrior, Brazilian pride, and knockout artist, made him a valuable figure for brands. From fight gear to lifestyle sponsorships, he represents more than just fighting. He embodies perseverance and authenticity. Unlike some fighters who chase deals purely for money, Pereira remains selective, aligning with brands that reflect his values. This has kept his image clean, respected, and impactful. Companies want to be associated with his raw, no-nonsense persona, making him a powerful figure both inside and outside the sport. Net worth. With championships, sponsorships, and fight purses, Pereira's net worth has steadily grown. Reports estimate it to be in the millions, a far cry from his early days of working construction and battling addiction. But for Pereira, money has never been the main motivation. His wealth is a reflection of years of sacrifice, struggle, and an iron will that refused to break. What makes his story even more powerful is the contrast from poverty and alcoholism in Brazil to global stardom and financial security. It's a transformation that serves as inspiration to countless fans, showing that no matter where you start, the finish line can look very different if you refuse to give up. Outrow. Alex Pereira's journey is not just about titles, knockouts, or fame. It's about the human spirit, about rising when everything seems stacked against you. He is proof that greatness can come from the most unlikely of places, and that true warriors are not defined by wins alone, but by the battles they fight outside the cage. For Pereira, the story is still being written, and if his past is any indication, the future promises even greater victories, even bigger moments, and a legacy that will live on long after he hangs up the gloves.